In this video, I'm going to talk about the polarizer. Why to use this filter, when to use this filter, how to use this filter. So if you are into landscape photography, this video is for you. Welcome to my channel. Here we talk about photography and I make videos just like this one where I share some landscape photography tips that anybody can follow. So if you are here for the first time and you love photography like me, it might be a good idea to subscribe. Before going into the polarizer topic, let me address this. You might have noticed that this is not my studio. This is a very empty room. You might hear a little echo. And this room is not even in California. As a matter of fact, I am in Italy. I am in Milan. And for the last few weeks, I've been very busy. This is also why I've been uploading one video every other week lately. But I promise that things will get back to normal very soon. I will go back to my weekly schedule, hopefully starting now. And I'm going to give you a little more details about what is going on with me very shortly. For now, just be patient and stick with me. But now, let's talk about the polarizer. What I love the most about landscape photography is to be able to create my interpretation of a place, depending on my mood, depending on my experience, depending on my state of mind. And filters are essential creative tools that help me to produce effects on camera that would be almost impossible to recreate in post-production. And for that matter, you already know how important neutral density filters are in my workflow. And the polarizer is another filter that is always in my bag. So first of all, let's see what the polarizer can do to our photographs. Four things. Mainly four things. The polarizer will reduce haze and glare. It will increase the color saturation and the contrast. The polarizer will also cut the reflections of vegetation or water or any reflective surfaces, and it will increase the clarity of our photos. All this happens in camera. Less work to do in Lightroom. And although I do like to edit my images in Lightroom, I always prefer to get most of the work done on the field in my camera. But you cannot use the polarizer all the time though. Let me rephrase this. You can use the polarizer anytime you want, but there are certain situations where the polarizing effects will not happen in the same way. Or you might also encounter some unwanted issues. As a matter of fact, you might want to know that the polarizer will just not work if you are shooting pointing straight at the sun or if the sun is right behind you. The polarizing effects will work at their best if the sun is on the side and 90 degrees from the scene that you are taking pictures of. So when the sun is on your side, either left or right, is when you will get the best out of your polarizer. Remember this when you're composing your images and using your polarizing filter. Instead, if you are using a very wide lens, let's say wider than 24 millimeters, you can encounter into a cross-polarization effect, where only part of your image will be polarized. What does that mean? It means that especially if you're taking pictures of the sky with a very wide lens or water, you will see uneven tones of blue into that sky or that water. Check this image. This is not the polarizing effect that you like to have in your photos. So just be careful when you're using it with your wide lenses. Also, a circular polarizer filter, which is probably what you have, will give you the possibility to increase or decrease the polarizing effect. And when you use the full strength of your polarizer filter, it will also decrease the amount of light that reaches your sensor, usually of about 2 stops, depending on the brand that you're using. This is great if you also want to increase your exposure length, but if you're not using a tripod, this might be very critical, because if the shutter speed becomes too long and you are hand holding the camera, you might end up with very blurry and shaky photos. So always make sure that the shutter speed is fast enough to handheld your camera, or just make the right thing. Use the tripod all the time. That's what I do, most of the time. I like to look at the scene through the polarizer and search for the right setting before putting the polarizer on my lens. I find this process a little easier. As you saw, in landscape photography, we often want all the benefits that the polarizer filter can give us. So it's a great filter to have. I like to use the polarizer filter in a scene where there is a lot of vegetation, a lot of foliage, where the polarizer, by cutting the reflective glare, will give me beautiful saturated colors. I also like the polarizing effect on the sky, especially if there are clouds. The blue of the sky becomes really vivid and the clouds literally pop out of the photo. It reminds me of when I was using the Fuji Velvia film just a few years ago. And now a few seconds to give the usual shout out to the PhotoTEE collection. T-shirts inspired by photography and designed for photographers. Get yours today. And if you got one already, why don't you post an Instagram story while you wear your PhotoTEE and tag me in the photo. In any case, as always, I do appreciate your support. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I feel that I will need to make a practice session video on the field using the polarizer. But for now, I think that you already have all the elements to start using this filter and get the most out of it. We are done for today, so hit the like button if you did like this video, leave me a comment and let me know your thoughts, and if you're new here and you want to see more videos like this, subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.